The year is 476 CE, and Rome, once the dazzling jewel of the world, is gasping for air like a gladiator after a fight. You wake up in your modest apartment, if you're lucky, somewhere that hasn't been claimed by collapsing walls or dripping ceilings. The smell of yesterday's bread, a hint of fermented olives, and the faint aroma of smoke from nearby fires greet you like an unwelcome morning alarm. Breakfast is likely stale bread, maybe a few olives if the market still has them, and if you're really living the high life, a sip of wine. Outside, the streets are alive, or terrifying depending on your mood. Vandals lurk around corners, Goths march through, and tax collectors, looking like they wrestle bears for fun, are eager to take their cut. Even the infrastructure seems to have given up. Aqueducts run dry or overflow unpredictably. Roads crumble beneath your sandals, and sewer stench drifts through the alleys as a constant reminder that Rome's glory days are behind it. Despite the chaos, life goes on, or at least it tries to. You brush your teeth, or rather your gums, with crushed bones or ash, because toothpaste is too fancy for a dying empire. Children chase each other with sticks as makeshift swords. Markets open with whatever goods survived the night, and street vendors shout over the clamor, selling dried fish, bread, or perhaps something suspiciously unidentifiable. Every morning is a gamble. Will the aqueduct deliver water today? Will the bread have mold, or worse, vermin? Will a Gothic raiding party show up before lunch? Rome is no longer a city of majesty and order. It's a living, breathing test of survival, a chaotic maze of crumbling walls, unpredictable neighbors, and daily mini-disasters. And yet somehow, you step into the streets, ready to play the dangerous, exhausting, occasionally hilarious game of life in the empire's final days. Once breakfast is over, if it was edible, you face the reality of work, survival, and the endless grind of taxes. If you're a farmer outside the city, every day is a battle against nature, disease, and invading tribes who treat your fields like an all-you-can-steal buffet. Craftsmen in the city fare little better. You might be hammering armor for the very barbarians who could show up at your door tomorrow. That's right, your livelihood often funds the people who could end your life. Talk about conflicted feelings. Markets are chaotic, streets crowded, and the rich flaunt what's left of their wealth while the majority of Romans wonder if today's lunch will be bread or just the idea of bread. Taxes are a nightmare that makes modern paperwork look like a vacation. Officials and collectors roam the streets like wolves in robes, taking their cut of crops, coins, or anything they can grab. And for what? A vague promise that the army will defend you, though often the soldiers are too busy looting or deserting to be helpful. Bribery, negotiation, and a little bit of luck become essential skills just to survive. Life is a constant balancing act. Avoid debt collectors, stay on good terms with neighbors, dodge bandits, and maybe, just maybe, keep your family fed. The empire may be falling apart, but somehow you, stubborn and determined, continue to navigate this precarious daily grind. There was a time when Rome roared with spectacle. The mighty Colosseum once shook with the thunder of gladiators clashing steel under the approving gaze of emperors. Chariot races in the circus. Maximus turned ordinary citizens into screaming fanatics, waving team colors like their lives depended on it. But now, those golden days feel like stories told by old men who swear things were better back in my time. The arenas still stand, but some are damaged, stripped for stone, or converted into barracks for soldiers who look more interested in survival than showmanship. If a fight does happen, it's less about imperial grandeur and more about desperate men trying to earn a few coins. The screams remain familiar. The glory is gone. Religion, meanwhile, is transforming the soul of the empire. The old Roman gods, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, still have their temples, but Christianity is rising fast, reshaping how people think about power, suffering, and hope. Churches grow where statues once stood proudly. You might attend a Christian gathering for comfort, then quietly leave an offering to an old god, just in case. In uncertain times, covering all spiritual options feels wise. Entertainment becomes less about spectacle and more about meaning. Conversations in marketplaces shift from who won the last chariot race to whether the empire's troubles are divine punishment or simply bad leadership. Even in collapse, Romans search for laughter, faith, and distraction, because when the world feels unstable, the human need for hope becomes its own kind of survival. Community during the fall of Rome is a fragile thing. Your neighbors are no longer just neighbors. They are potential allies, competitors, or threats. Trust becomes a rare currency. The man who shared wine with you last year might now be hoarding grain behind locked doors. Rumors move faster than official news. The Goths are coming. The army has abandoned the province. The emperor has been replaced, again. Leadership changes so often that keeping track feels like following a never-ending drama with too many plot twists and not enough heroes. Yet even in this instability, daily life refuses to disappear. Markets still open, even if half the stalls are empty. Bakers rise before dawn. Blacksmiths hammer iron with stubborn determination. Children laugh in alleyways using sticks as swords, reenacting battles they barely understand. Weddings still happen. Babies are still born. Funerals grow more frequent. The grand villas of senators may stand abandoned, but in the narrow streets and crowded courtyards, people adapt. Rome is no longer an unstoppable empire. It is a struggling community held together by routine, resilience, and the quiet decision to endure one more day. As the sun sinks behind the battered skyline, Rome changes again. The noise softens, but the tension does not. Torches flicker against cracked walls. Shadows stretch across abandoned villas once filled with senators plotting the future of the world. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barks. Somewhere else, a door slams shut a little too quickly. Night in a dying empire feels longer than it should. You eat what little is left, bread hardened by the day, watered down wine if you're fortunate, and listen carefully to every unfamiliar sound outside your door. When law grows weak, darkness grows bold. And then in 476 CE, word spreads that the young emperor Romulus Augustulus has been deposed by the Germanic general Odoacer. There is no grand final battle in your street, no dramatic speech echoing through the forum, just a quiet realization. The Western Roman Empire is over. The empire that once ruled from Britain to North Africa has faded into something smaller, fractured, uncertain. But you still wake up the next morning. You still search for food, and still protect your family. History will call this the fall of Rome. For you, it was another day of survival. Empires collapse in records and scrolls. Ordinary people endure in silence. And in that endurance, life, stubborn, unglamorous, relentless, goes on.